Alright, so now it's time to start working on the arms. I'm going to work on this arm first, and then I'm going to possibly leave you then to do the second arm. Okay. So, one thing that we've got to notice with this guy is he's got sort of quite rounded hips. So we need to get the arm into a position where when he brings his arm backwards, there's no fingers going through hips, and that looks pretty good. I'm just going to get slightly further out again. Alright, we'll start with that. So then let's have a look at our pictures. And we have basically what the arms do is opposite to what the legs do. So when the left leg is forward, so is the right arm, and vice versa. And in the passing position, both arms are pretty much by the side. Okay, so that's what we're heading for. All right. So let's start. And I'm going to go and put on profile here. I'm going to go to frame 1. And just give me, and the amount going forwards really is just showing how much energy in the walk. So if your character was doing a really slow walk, you wouldn't want, you wouldn't want a big forward movement of the arm. But in this one we've got a fairly fast walk, so I'm going to allow his arm to go a bit further forward. So here we go. So you can see here, I've spread the rotation down the body and giving myself just a basic pose, which I think is quite nice. So I'm going to save, again, I'm going to save a key for each of these arms. And this is a rotation key, so I'm going to go to frame 1, hit the S key. Same with this one, hit the S key, and same with this one, hit the S key. And then go to frame 24. Because then we're back at this position again, as we've been doing all along. Hit the S key, hit the S key, hit the S key. Okay, and then we know that at frame 12 we've got the opposite, we've got the reverse of this. So we bring the arm back, and we don't want to go super far back. We'll just bring it to about there. And again, I want to bring this arm fairly straight. And if you can remember what we were doing with the pendulum, and if you watch the pose breakdown video that Keith Lango is supposed to the offsetting, we're going to be kind of doing that. So if I just go the S key there, the S key there, the S key there. Alright, so we'll click the graph editor. Okay, here we go. Right, so what I want to do now is just to bring in the cycles for each one. Cycle. And I may actually just bring a pre-infinity cycle in here as well, because I'm going to be possibly doing some offsetting, just to increase the fluidity of this arm. So. There we go. And that one uses post-infinity cycle. Right. So let's have a look what we've got here. Okay. Okay, so that's okay, but it's very stiff and wooden. So what we need to do now is to start to loosen up this movement. And to do that, we can do a combination of adding breakdown keys and offsetting keys. So the first thing I want to do is just to add a breakdown around here, just so that we've got more curve in the arm, so that we bring in a bit of drag. Okay, so let's save that, and save that, and save that. Okay. And then a little bit more as we come back as well. So when we're here, I just rotate this arm, just going back a little bit. So again, I'm just building a little bit of drag into there. I've automatically got auto key. I'm just going to turn that auto key off. Okay, that's better, but we're still, and no, it is looser. I'll just give you a bit more of a 3/4 view to see what that looks like. It still seems to be almost just sort of whacking into that last pose. So what I want to do now is just to offset these two lower portions of the arm. So I'm going to keep the upper, the top one the same as it is. I'm just going to offset these two. So I'm going to bring this one first. And these are the curves for this one. I'm also just going to do a bit of smoothing out. So that I can keep the motion nice and smooth. There we go. Okay, so this is my bit of trial and error here, so I'm going to just tag things, and I'm going to offset this just by 2 frames. So plus equals 2. Okay. So now we've just offset that elbow. See what that looks like. So that's already softened it. Can you see how much looser that feels? So I want to do the same thing with just this last piece as well. Again, I'm just going to smooth out these curves. And again, drag. And I'll try for 2. I may come back to 1. Let's see how it looks. Okay. Let's have a look at this arm. Okay, so that's quite nice. Let's have a quick look at it without the curves on. If I just go Alt 1, that knocks all the curves off. That's quite nice. Okay, we may come back to, again, we'll come back to it in a little while. But you can see how much softer that motion is from the one we had before. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other arm. And so, I know that some of you are going to go, can we just copy the keys over? But I think copying the keys over you can do, but then you have to start to negative them to make them work on the other side, because everything is reversed here. But to actually do it again, you'll get a nice little bit of asymmetry if you just eyeball it a second time. And that'll give the movement a little bit more softness rather than it being exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the other arm, and then we can come back and start working. Possibly on the tail.